Let's continue looking at the national curriculum for English language teaching in the context of Pakistan. And now we will see content and approach of this document. We'll see some of the key characteristics of this document in the topic or in the form of content and approach. What sort of content this document emphasizes to be selected and what approach to be undertaken, right? Whether it lays emphasis on just inculcating the competencies of the students or just to enhance their language skills or language systems. So this is important to be examined here, right? What's the dimension of this curriculum? This has been, if you look at critically at this document, if you read through the words between the lines, you will come to know that this takes a product dimension approach, where knowledge and skills are considered concurrent things to be learned hand in hand, right? And the objectives are seen broadly, in the form of competencies, and then the competencies are further seen in the form of standards. And then we've got these standards are composed of, certain benchmarks, which needs to be acquired from grade 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and onwards. And these benchmarks are further divided into developmental phases. For example, we've got grades 1 to 2 and then 3 to 5. And you might be thinking of comparing this one with the document 2002, which was classified into 4 main areas. But this one is divided into several areas, phases. Then 6 to 8, and we've got 9 to 10 and 11 to 12, right? Finally, these benchmarks, from grades 1 to 2. So in this, the discourse used in this document is as compared to classes here, the word grades is used. These benchmarks are specified into student learning objectives, which they are required to develop. For example, what they need to develop in the area of while learning listening and while learning reading skills, while learning writing or speaking skills. So what systems they need to develop, right? So these competencies, standards, benchmarks, they tell about student learning outcomes. So each level or each phase or each grade tells about different objectives to be fulfilled by the teachers, right? Approach, is that language is as use, and then language analysis, which in other words, the main emphasis is on developing students' language skills and their grammar. And we can better understand this one in the light of this quote taken from that document. The curriculum places greater emphasis on the understanding and use of the English language in different academic and social contexts than on acquiring knowledge about the language for its own sake. So this is how, English language is seen as a medium of knowledge, where the students can become active members of global community, and where they can enhance their competencies, their skills in the area of social and academic backgrounds. And this doesn't mean that acquisition of knowledge about the language for its own sake. As compared to the 2002 document, it doesn't see language for the sake of language learning. Rather, language is learned through various contents which have been selected, graded, and sequenced in an appropriate manner. You will see when we will continue to discuss the further evaluate this document in our coming modules, right? So the core emphasis in this document is on enhancing 4 skills of the language learners. I mean, but specifically, the emphasis is on reading and writing, and listening and speaking are thought to be developed by the students themselves. But also there is a mention of speaking and listening, but unfortunately, due to it's been acknowledged in the document, unfortunately, due to the lack of facilities or lack of teacher training or lack of required language teachers in the state-run schools, these might not be worth promotable in, the listening and speaking skills. So the overall, this document lays emphasis on enhancing both accuracy and fluency of the students.